Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the weekly review of Sean's Rock. I'm Sean the Key Notorious. And of course, I'm joined along with.
And it's your boy Rock the Mike. It's another Friday, baby. Damn. It's this June is flying by, I feel like.
Yeah, it is flying by. It needs to slow down a little bit. I just had a birthday this week. I don't want to, catch up to my next birthday too quickly now. Give me some time.
You turn like 200 right now? 200?
Hey, 150. I'm 150. Get it right.
So I was born in 1807. No, I'm
there
kidding.
you go. I remember your grandparents were born, brother.
You must get that Benjamin Button disease. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, man, it's been a great month so far. I'm glad the whole birthday season is over with, at least for us and a few of my other friends. Sunday though is a big day for you daddies out there. Father's Day.
Yep.
Anything planned?
Father's Day coming up. Not really. Just doing a little boil here at the house, a little crab boil. Nothing too
boil.
big, too fancy.
They said bowl. Like, wait, you got me just
bowl.
Just smoking a little bowl at the house.
Sometimes that little southern accent does kind of catch on, but crab boil. Let me enunciate my words here.
Right there, you go.
No, boil because it's boiling. It's not in the oven. Yeah, it's boiling all together. You've been to a crab boil, I'm sure.
No, dude,
they call it a low country boil, but same thing.
So you have a live crab that you put in a hot plate of water. I don't know how to.
You get crab legs and some other and blue crabs you want. Put them in water. Some shrimp. What else? Crab, shrimp, sausage if you want, and corn. Season it up really good. And if you like shellfish, throw some shellfish in there.
Is the crab alive at the time or no?
No.
Okay, so you don't just drop him to his death like I've been seeing on the movies. I should be like, listen, tell me the passcodes or I'm dropping you in the steaming hot water.
I'm not. I don't have the wherewithal to do it like what they do at at Haiku's restaurant. They just do everything fresh. So
just throw it in there. It's fine. Just throw it in. It's fine. Anyways, what do we have? What do we got on the rundown today? Lots of things going on.
Yeah, it has. Since we took kind of almost 2 weeks off for our birthdays, we got a lot to talk about. So let's talk about it because, like you said, a lot has been going on. First, we're going to talk about these Colombian kids. I don't know if you heard about it or not. These Colombian kids and these indigenous kids in Colombia who were lost for 40 days. 40 days now. They were found alive. That's just crazy. Dehydrated, but other than that, no other injuries or to speak of. That's amazing because they survived a plane crash. We're also going to talk about how Australia named this woman their worst female serial killer, but now she is no longer their worst female serial killer. We're going to talk about how that happens. How do you lose that?
Somebody regained the number one spot. Like, damn it!
You would think that's how it goes, but I promise you that's not the way it plays out. And then, of course, we're going to talk about. And then, of course, we talk a little bit about the NBA Finals, what's going on with that, who won. Of course, we know who won, but we're going to talk about a little bit about it. And finally, the Florida. But with all that being said, and a nice, exciting show for our guests, let's go ahead and jump into today's first story.
All right. So, 4 Colombian kids, no relation to Pablo Escobar, by the way, survived 40 days in the jungle, in the Colombian jungle. I don't know if it's the Amazon rainforest. I haven't been to school in a very long time. But
I would think that's where I took it.
Yeah. But so they actually were in a plane crash. They were fleeing some type of conflict. I'm not going to dive too much into detail, but everyone died on the plane besides the 4 children. This is like one of those small 8-seater planes. Pilot died. Their mother died. And I think one other. However, could you imagine these children and their ages range from an 11-month-old baby, an infant, all the way up until a 13-year-old and everybody else in between, right? So it's not like you got some, 19, 20-year-old kid who can probably make it himself. You have like literally children and a baby in the forest for 40 days.
Exactly. I mean, that's crazy. First and foremost, the most difficult part is finding water. You're not going to survive 40 days without water. So
survive 3 days without water.
Yeah. And so you got to find that first. And then food for 40 days because you need both.
Mhm.
and as we said, you're in the jungles of Colombia. This is pretty much like a rainforest or rainforest adjacent. This is called like that, but it's right there. Is everything that wants to kill you and can kill you lives in
Right.
the jungle.
Now, however, though, these are not just like, I mean, I know these are children, but these are not like the typical. It's not American children. These are not like spoiled kids. These are children who are indigenous to the area, so
No,
they know the land. You know, that's like if a whole bunch of farmers got stranded in Idaho somewhere, like they'll be okay. They'll figure it out.
this isn't Mary who lives down in in the suburbs,
Y-
of Tampa. No,
Right.
this isn't Mary. This is someone who actually has saying, "Hey, I've skipped my first deer when I was 4 years old," or something along
Exactly.
those lines.
Exactly. So and it's almost like this isn't their first rodeo. Like just reading like I mean I don't know how accurate some of the details are, but like I mean you have an 11-month-old baby, and rescuers actually found them by tracking. They'd see footprints, find diapers, which I'm still wondering about that one. Like you still changing diapers in the forest? Like this kid is Tarzan at this point. If you know
No,
if you s- Go ahead.
you got to change those diapers, man. You get a rash. That's a whole nother worse
Yeah,
thing
but
that
how
could
many
happen.
diapers do you have
Oh,
for 40 days in the forest? I mean,
oh,
it's not like
I'm
they
sure they
planted
ran
this.
out. And they ran out at some point in time. Unless they had like a whole. There's no way they ran out at some point in time. And oh wait, you know what? Cloth
Mhm.
diapers. They might have been using cloth diapers.
Yeah, but where you gonna get some cloth from? I mean,
Well, I mean,
it's not like
mom
you
was
go
on the flight. Mom probably packed,
Uber to the store.
mom probably packed all some
Yeah,
cloth,
mom.
diapers and
That's
everything.
her, right before she
Yeah.
died. It's like, oh, be sure, just in case y'all make it, take this cloth to wrap around you, wrap around Junior. Um, but that's impressive, man. Like, I mean, realistically,
So
you've been. Go ahead.
the people who were on the plane, the adults who passed away, were three adults.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, including the kid's mother, Magdalena Mukuti. I'm sure I have butchered that name, and I apologize to the family. Um, but locating the adults was what gave them to say, "Hey, the kids are alive." They knew the
Right.
kids knew to leave the plane site, yeah, and that's
Especially
pretty
if there's no
amazing.
like if their
Now,
bodies aren't there.
there's one other story that goes along with this, and I've lost it. I've got to see if I can find it again. But apparently, while searching for these kids, one of the search parties, a canine search party, was actually lost in the jungle.
Oh
So
shit.
one's, yeah. So I just saw that on a news article a few days ago, and I haven't found it again since. But
Hmm.
that's crazy. But but that happens because when you think about the divers who rescued those kids in the caves a few
Uh-huh.
years ago, we lost what, three divers in that rescue. So
Yeah,
I
that would
mean,
suck.
it's
That'd be a sucky way to go. Like I died trying to save someone else because they messed up. Like what?
yeah. I mean, that's a big one. I mean, that's a big one if you ask me. But I don't know. I
Now
just go
I was
ahead.
gonna say like you got as far as like military experience, all right, probably more than most, but realistically, how long do you think you could survive? Plane crash, you're the only
Um,
survivor. You land somewhere in the Amazon. You think the Amazon rainforest. You really don't know.
yeah. With a knife, I could probably survive till I was rescued. Without a knife, though, it'll be a lot more difficult.
Well,
It'll be a
it was a
lot more
plane
difficult.
crash. Unless they let you on a plane with, a blade on you, you got
And
nothing.
and that's what I'm saying. Like you can fashion knife, out of like the plexiglass gas from the plane's window or some of the metal from the
Hmm.
plane's body, but you still got to get that stuff off the plane. And if you don't have
Right.
tools or stuff to break it off or tear it off, it's hard. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you, it's a hard thing. So I'm not gonna say I wouldn't survive it, but I could survive pretty easily with a knife. But without a knife,
It's a
it's
wrap.
gonna be it's sucking.
You
It's
hear that,
sucking bad.
folks? You can bring anything. Always bring a knife, just in case you got a shank like a tiger or something like that. Back up, back up off me.
But
Yeah,
a
that
knife helps you find. I mean, because you can dig in the trees and actually get to the stuff that you can actually eat out of a tree. You can dig into to dead bark, get a fire going. A knife is very useful. A knife is actually more useful than a lighter in
yeah,
the
yeah.
forest.
And the crazy part is though, my concern would be like even if you survived the plane crash, you would assume you'd be injured very badly or some form,
Yes, broken arm at least. At the
something,
very least, a broken
a
arm.
sprained ankle, a
You're not
glass getting
walking
your eye.
quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
they
not walking quickly. You got blood coming from some place. You were
right.
just in a crash, and then you got predators out there. there's a lot that went into this rescue, and it's not just the rescue. I'm sorry. There's a lot that went into these kids' survival. The story is going to be a long time to come, if you ask me, because one, the oldest kid is 13, and then 13-year-old, a 9-year-old, and then a 4 and an 11-month-old.
Yeah.
So you're not the
That's a
13-year-old
headache
is
just
about the
thinking
only
about
one
it.
going
Like,
to get the.
oh,
Yeah, I got to interview three of these kids aren't going to want to talk to me. The fourth one may or may not, but it's a teenager, so that's going to be a whole thing.
yeah. Listen,
The
I say
11-month-old is
this:
not going to say anything to you.
if you survive 40 days in the Amazon rainforest or any type of jungle, you at that point you technically live there. Like you figured it out. Okay, like this is your land now. Like if they would have found me, I would have just been like, I'm good. It's cool. Tell my parents I'm fine. Like 40 days. Damn, man, that's a holy
That's a
shit.
minute. That's a
Oh,
minute. I mean, what I say in the Bible, Jesus went out in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. I mean, and he's finding the struggle to survive, and that was Jesus. So I mean,
no.
these are some kids who did
Right,
it
I don't
without
know. They must be
nothing.
Muslim or something. I'm just kidding. We're getting Bin Laden money. All right. Let's go. Let's go to the other side of the world.
Yes, let's go.
Where it's a
So
little bit harder to survive 40 days
yeah,
out there.
so we're gonna go from talking about these kids who survived an amazing survival story to talking about kids who unfortunately did not survive their ordeal. But
Mm.
that's not really the story. Unfortunately, Kathleen, let me say her name correctly, Kathleen Phobig, who was I use this term used loosely, who was Australia's uh, most hated serial killer,
Most
female
hated.
serial killer. Well, I'm trying to think of how they word
It
it.
makes most
She
hated.
was
It's
late.
Kathleen.
She was Australia's worst serial killer, worst female serial killer is how they labeled it.
Okay. When
So
you say worst serial killer, I'm like, did she do a terrible job at being a serial killer and coming in
yeah, I know,
last
right?
place at the serial killer rankings? It's Kathleen who didn't
Yeah.
kill anybody.
But yeah, so unfortunately for Vince Phobic, it took her 20 years
Oh
to
man.
actually get this whole thing, and I call it a thing because it's not a crime, and it wasn't and it wasn't an accident. This was a natural cause. So let me tell you what happened. So Kathleen Phobic, she lives in Australia, and between the years of 1989 through 1999,
Hmm.
she lost 4 of her kids. Through basically some type of it was called I
Laryngitis.
mean, no, not laryngitis. It's laryngomasia. So that's
Ooh,
what it's
yeah.
called.
I'm. Yeah.
Hey, I'll just read the words. I'll just read the
You
words.
got that laryngitis marcia, don't you?
But it's a condition that impacts breathing, and that was the
Okay.
first. That was the first death in 1989, and prosecutors said no, they didn't die from this. You died. They died from being suffocated by you. So they label her the worst serial killer.
Did they
Or
all die
the
at the same time?
no, between 1989 and 1999.
Okay.
None of them lived past 18 months. So you had a 19-day-old all the way up to an 18-month-old, but no one
Oh
lived past
damn.
18 months.
I'm surprised they don't call her the
Yeah.
baby strangler. It's the baby strangler. Once you get to 18 months,
Yeah.
she's coming for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. But now, so of course, you know how news is. They give
Mhm.
you the salacious details, and you think, oh, well, we've got her. We've got her. This woman who was getting away with killing her kids. Now we got her, and we got the person.
We
And
got
this
her.
was during and this was during the DNA time. And you know how people look at news. Oh,
Yeah, but it's
baby killer.
Australia. I feel like they
I ain't
get
here.
stuff kind of late. You know what I mean?
Eh, uh, probably a little bit, but yeah, I mean 99. So yeah, probably a little bit late. But it still took 20 years, 20
Hmm.
years for this to be actually settled because now Miss Phobic is not the worst female serial killer of Australia. She is a woman, she's a mother who was falsely convicted
Okay.
under, and science, DNA, is what cleared her. Turns out that she
Oh
uh,
shit! I didn't do that.
had a genetic mutation that she passed on to her kids,
Hmm.
um, known as CALM2 G114R. That was present in her system. This genetic mutation is what caused these kids to stop breathing.
So I take it this is probably some type of rare diagnosis to where
Very rare.
you don't
Only
really catch it often.
very rare. It took it going all the way to Professor Venusa, who actually had Miss Foley's DNA to find find us and then take it back to the courts. 20 years this took. 20 years this process took.
Yeah, it's because it's hard to
And so,
overturn stuff like that,
yeah,
especially any murder of any children is. I mean, once you get that label, it's hard to kind of get it taken off your name.
but the same thing is, it's kind of like a thread. I mean, the police, and they do the same thing here in the States, probably a lot of places in the country. They find a small thread instead of still looking at some of the other threads. They go, oh, this is the thread we're going to latch on to, yank, and that's where they stick.
Right.
This is why we have a lot of false convictions
Oh
in
yeah. I mean, like
in the system today.
I see where they're coming from, though. They probably like, damn, Kathleen, your child died again. Like after the third child, like, okay, something's going on. Either you were suffocating these children. There's no way you lost 4 children all within that time span.
Yeah, but if they didn't find any kind of fibers or anything in the mouth or in the throat, science then would have said, hey, they were not suffocated unless it was by strangulation, which there was no marks on their throat, so it obviously wasn't by that kind of strangulation.
Right.
So the evidence wasn't there really outside of her having kids who died from lack of oxygen. The evidence wasn't there for her to be convicted.
Can you imagine though?
From just from what I've read here.
But can you imagine though? Like you know the truth, you get wrongfully convicted, you lose you lose 4 of your kids, you go to prison for 20 years. Like, I mean, kudos to her for like
you can't even mourn. You can't.
Yeah. You would be a different person when you got out. You'd be crazy. I'd be like, I didn't do it. I'm innocent, but now I'm crazy, so I'm guilty, I guess.
Yeah, and that's what happens. I mean, there's a guy in Pennsylvania a couple months ago who got out of prison after being falsely convicted. He got out of prison after I think he did like 13 or 15 years, something like that. Got out of prison. Who was out for like 3 or 4 years. I guess it was too much for him. Ended up killing somebody, and now he's going back to jail.
Wow.
But you didn't do it. You had a way out. You were falsely convicted.
Yeah, but
you got to take that and ride it out. Like, hey, look, I'm good. I'm golden.
Once you're in that world, doesn't matter if you did it or you didn't do it. I mean, prison would just change you.
Yeah.
There was I don't know if you've ever seen it, if you watch HBO, but one of my favorite series was called The Night Of, a couple years back. It was similar. It was like some Muslim kid got wrongfully accused of murdering this girl, and the trial kind of dragged on, and he was in prison he was in prison for like a year or two, and it just changed him. And the trial got dismissed, but he was just a different person. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, man.
Yeah, and the fight against this whole bail system, we shouldn't have cashless bail. We shouldn't have cashless bail. Some people cannot afford bail. I'm sorry, it's a fact of life. And not all charges, just because you're charged, that doesn't mean you're convicted. You're charged because you're charged, because they think you have enough evidence. Plenty of times
they can draw that out for months to years. To
years.
Delay.
The guy in New York, he literally died in jail. Yes,
Khalif Browder.
Yeah, what was it? 5 years he was stashed away.
So he got charged for he got accused of stealing something, a backpack from a kid. I mean, this kid was 15, 16 years old, and in New York, Rikers Island, I think at 16 they try you as like an adult at the time. I don't know if the rules still apply, but he couldn't afford bail either because I think he had a warrant or something to where he couldn't, and his family couldn't afford it. And basically, he was innocent. Well, he says he was innocent, and the prosecution wanted him just to plead guilty so they can get him out of there. So they intentionally, because he didn't do that, intentionally delayed his court date up to like, I think 2 years. And this whole time he's in Rikers Island with, and he's not even convicted of anything. And, Rikers Island, I guess, is fucking brutal.
That's Rikers. I mean, there's a reason why Rikers is known around the world, not just in New York. I mean,
shit, man. I mean, I feel bad. And then he got out eventually. It made national news, and he hung himself like a year later.
Hung himself. Yeah, yep. They didn't even make it. I didn't think it was even a year yet. But I remember. I mean, that's how much going to jail changes you, and especially going to jail as an innocent person or a person who's been overcharged, which they do. They give you one little charge, and okay, well, I don't like you, so I'm gonna throw a whole bucket load of other charges on you. So you thought you get simple possession of marijuana, instead you're going to jail for assault and everything else I can come up with. You know,
Oh man, make sure you have a
that's
lawyer friend. I would say this: always have a lawyer friend. Always,
always.
well, I guess you stay out of trouble, stay out of them scenarios. But yeah, man, never always have a
It's
lawyer.
always have a look. That's the best because you can't always set your scenario up the way you want it to be. So sometimes you may be in the wrong place at the wrong time, not
Right.
because you're planning to be there, because I got errand to run, made a left instead of right, and oh my god, I'm back.
Yeah.
So, but always, never, ever, 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 ever talk without a lawyer present.
Yep.
Don't do it. Do not do it. That's just it's not legal advice. That's just common sense advice. Always have a lawyer.
Need the fifth.
But
Yeah.
but it's crazy. But as tragic as this story about Miss Holbig is, how she lost her kids, it actually is, when you look at it, the full picture of it. It actually is a ends up being a good story, because now this genetic mutation has been found.
Mhm.
So now we have this genetic mutation out there in the public. So now we know what to look for later on. And she was able to at least survive her ordeal and come out of jail as a free woman. So at the end of the
Did they
day,
give her money for the wrongful?
hasn't said that, but it's been pretty recently. So I think
I'm sure
that's
you
gonna
have to.
that's gonna
You
be
would
coming.
have to. Like, this woman already lost her children and already did her time that, while she was innocent. Like, you got to give her a couple million or whatever Australian money is, dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
You should. I mean, think about the guy the guy from making a murder. I can't remember his name. But he ended up he won, I think, $4 million from the state, but they never paid him. They just kept delaying it and pushing off, so they never paid him.
We'll pay you. Don't
And
worry.
then he ended up
You didn't
going
get
back
that
to
email?
jail. But then he ended up going to jail for killing for killing the other woman, which I saw making a murder too, and I'm not convinced either
You think
way
they were
on
just
the
holding
second
out?
one.
Like, yeah, he gonna mess up. He gonna mess up. Just hold out. Don't pay him yet. He gonna mess up.
That's what it seems like. Now the second one, now the nephew though, he should not at all be in jail, in my opinion. But the guy, the first one made the guy look completely innocent. I know we're getting off on a tangent here. First one made the guy look completely innocent. Well, not completely, but made him look like he was just railroaded. The second was like, okay, maybe you were railroaded, but you did some kind of shady things that kind of put yourself in that spot, So
That's
it left me more
insane.
questions than answers the second one.
I'd be
But
like,
this
yeah,
is a
Judge,
clear
maybe I
cut
did it.
and
I don't
dry.
know. I could have did it. Not saying I did do it. I'm not admitting. I could have did it. I was available to do it. I didn't do it though. Or did I? Court dismissed.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. That's just one of those things where it's like, what do you do? Because you have to. Not every case is going to have evidence. It's going to have DNA evidence. I mean,
Yeah.
you wanted to.
I mean, unless you just putting your DNA all over the place.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. But at the same time, you don't want to send someone to jail who is actually innocent, especially for these type of charges.
Right.
Any
Well,
type
but
of
you gotta
murder
understand, like, a
or
lot of
manslaughter.
times it's more you have to prove your innocence. Like,
Yes,
they just assume you're guilty. Why? Because it's dollars. It's more people in the jail. It's privatized prison. They make money. It's like, it's a money thing. It's like, yeah,
they
this
make
person.
a lot of money on incarcerating people. A
Yeah,
lot.
and
That's a big business.
it also costs more to prove your innocence than to just maybe take a plea deal or something like that. So
yes, and that's and there's a lot of people. I don't know if you've watched any of the Netflix documentaries or the HBO documentaries of people who go to the trials and things.
Mhm.
A lot of these cases are people just taking a plea deal because they're like, I am innocent, but I needed to get home. I'm going to lose my job. I've already lost so much.
Right.
I'm just taking a plea deal so I can get to the house. And then they take the plea deal, and then something comes up later on that plea deal has messed them up.
Yeah, and it's tough. Like, and that kind of, it's hard to get any type of normal life, even if you do take a plea deal, because that stuff will pop up on your record, and then you got to explain that whole situation every time. You might not even get a phone call for a job if they see stuff like that. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I guess every situation is, specific to that person. But if you can avoid it, don't do it. If you have to do it,
definitely
do it early and get it out the way.
Yeah, do it in the daylight. They're not as suspicious then. I'm kidding. Don't take my advice on that.
Do it in front of the camera. You're gonna commit a crime. Make sure you have your ID out. Smile at the camera. All right.
But let's move on. But again, that is actually, as sad as it is, that is actually a
Mhm.
feel good story because Miss Phobic was finally able to sleep and get a good night's rest after 20 years of losing her
After
kids.
20 years, I finally get
So,
to sit down and witness a
Warren.
sunset on a grateful universe. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh,
Um,
but moving on, let's talk about the NBA Finals. So,
yes, yes.
we gave
Oops.
our predictions earlier. I said it was going to be a clean sweep. I believe. I'm pretty sure I said that, and you said it was going to be.
No, no. You said that it
Or did
was
I
going
say
to
it was going to
go
be?
to 7 games,
Oh, I said it was going to go the whole way. Okay,
and I
it was
said
either
I
one or
was
two.
like, I said
But you
Denver's
were
either going
right.
to, yeah, I said they're going to sweep them or
Yeah,
Miami might
yeah,
win one game, and that's what happened.
yeah.
Miami won one game,
You're right.
and that was the most boringest finals I've ever watched. However, congrats to the
I can agree with
Nuggets.
you on that. Uh, that was. I'm glad that it wasn't the normal Lakers,
Kind of
Celtics,
wish it was after watching that
or
shit.
Golden. Well, that's what I'm saying. Or Golden State and Celtics. I'm kind of glad it wasn't, but at the same time, it's like that would have made it more exciting because you know, going into it, it's like, oh, we know it'll come game 6, they about to play lights out. Come game 7,
Mhm.
but this one just kind of seemed like we knew going in who was going to win. I mean, regardless and that's the
Yeah.
thing. Both our predictions said that Denver's going to win. We both knew they were going to win,
Also,
and that's sad.
I don't think there's ever been an 8th seed that has beaten a 1 seed for the championship. I don't think. I mean, I
I
could be
don't think.
wrong. I would have to look that up. Yeah, man. I mean, like, it's just it's one of those scenarios to where the better team and obviously better team won. I mean, and Miami fans are fair weather fans anyway, so I mean, I'm sure they probably knew what was coming. You know what I mean? Like, oh, go Miami Heat, and then if you root
Hey,
for the
look,
poop.
I was no longer my once LeBron left.
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't following Miami anymore. I was myself.
Well, LeBron left, so depends on where he goes is where I go. Oh
I
my
mean, no
goodness.
offense to Wade and all them, but I was a LeBron fan. That's the only reason I watched them. Hey, it is what it
Oh,
is. But I will say this: when he went back to the Cavs, I would watch, but I just couldn't root for the Cavs. Man, it was just difficult.
I
Yeah,
can't
I
root
just
for
like,
anything in Ohio
yeah, I know.
unless they change the name to something
Well, I know
else.
you
Like it's
can't. You're
just
Michigan, so you definitely
yeah. I
can't root
mean,
for
like
anything Ohio.
who wants to say? I mean, even saying it makes my jaw hurt.
Your
Um,
home state would disown you if you did. You're like, yeah.
Listen, man, they got a football team named the Browns. All right, that's all you got to know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
honestly, as boring as the finals was, I was kind of more hype about what Adam Silver was planning to do to our gang banging Memphis Ja Morant. So I don't know if you've seen
Ah,
today, but the punishment came out to 25 games, suspended 25 games, which I don't know. I think that was kind of light. What do you think for a second offense?
25, that's pretty harsh. I mean, that's pretty harsh. But at the same time, they've been warning him over and over and over again
Ja,
that
put the
something was going
guns
to
down.
happen.
Just stop it.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a lot of warnings, so it's not like this wasn't seen coming. It's not like he can say, "Oh, I didn't know." You saw it coming. I mean, you were told it's going to come. You didn't let us settle down, and they gave
Mhm.
you. When the first video broke, they're like, "Okay, look, stop," and then you instead of cooling off, you said, "Okay, yeah, I'll stop,"
I'm about
and
to
then
go
you go
buy
make
two
another
guns.
video.
I'm
And
doubling
make
up.
another video. So I mean, you put on yourself, man. I mean, I know that comes with maturity and things, but come on, you're making millions a year, and you're gonna do something dumb like that that could
Um,
easily cost you your entire career.
and those 25 games, those are unpaid games too. So he's not going to be making
Yep.
any money, at least from his basketball contract. I was actually watching First Take this morning. Why? I don't know. It was just on TV. And Stephen A. did bring up a great point. When he was talking about the first time when Ja got in trouble with the original video, that
Yeah.
like, I guess like his dad was like around. Basically, Stephen A. kind of like put the blame on like the parenting and kind of like enabling or not disciplining that type of behavior. And
Mm.
now that I think about it, I can remember older stories like similar to that with his dad going at it with was it Shannon Sharp? Was it Shannon Sharp?
Oh, yeah.
I think so. But
I think so. I think I remember. I think I know. I think I remember what you're talking about. When it was right before he got
yeah, but
drafted.
you know, it's just
Yeah.
like it's just that, okay, well, if you think about it now, that kind of makes sense, right? Like he's probably been doing this shit for a very long time, and he just happened to
the
get caught
entire
on
time.
camera. Yeah, his dad was probably filming.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, son.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
like I taught you.
he's probably been a star since middle school, and so from that point on, he's like, all right, you're a star. I can do whatever and nothing,
Mhm.
and not get hemmed up by it. And that's what it seems to be what he has done and thought he could get away with in the NBA. Because who
Mhm.
makes a second video right after you get warned after the first one? Come on,
Thug.
come on, and not
That's
like a year later, or something. This is just what a
Colin.
month
Can you
later.
see what John Morant's salary is for this year? So I'm trying to figure out how much money he's gonna be missing out on missing 25 games. Yeah, that's
Shoot, that's
insane. Like,
probably
I
gonna.
mean, I get he's only 23 years old. He's a kid. Well, he's not a kid. He's an adult by now, and
He's an adult.
he's an adult. He's a professional with an adult job. He should know better. I mean, it's he. I think Memphis is going to get rid of him. I think you have to,
Jeez. So he makes
or
around
put him on the
33 and a
security
half
team. I
million.
guess.
So Morant recently received a 5-year deal for a $192 million contract extension. That begins on July
It's July
1st with his
1st.
2023-2024 pay at around $33.5 million a
It
year,
was
basically.
$304,000 per game. Wow,
Or
7.6
10
million in
points.
total.
That's honestly like a drop in the bucket. I mean, look at it, though.
That's a fucking huge drop.
That's a huge drop. Yeah, it's a huge drop. Don't get me wrong. It is a huge drop. But when you look at what he makes per year, that's,
Yeah, but
yeah.
7.6 million. Like if he could go
Oh,
back in
yeah. You
time
won't feel it.
and like you could talk to like his 13-year-old self, like, hey Ja, would you ever do anything to jeopardize $7.6 million? Nah, I just love
That's the
basketball and hang
question.
out with my friends.
That's the,
Yeah, I was like, okay. Just to
I get
oh
that.
my
I'm
God.
gonna get that check. I will never do anything wrong. And the first thing he does is, oh, bow,
So
hey,
what
John.
does that money just stay with the organization?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh damn. So they
Actually, no.
probably
It's
like,
no. It's a fine. So they actually have to pay it to the NBA.
oh shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Somehow I feel like LeBron is involved in this somehow. Like he a puppet master in the back. Like, yeah, John, give me that 7.6 million. I need that for Bronny. All right. Well, too bad, too
Okay. So
sad.
according to Adam Silver, this is Adam Silver's statement about Ja. For Ja, basketball needs to take a back seat at this time. Silver said.
Thanks,
He
Silver.
said Silver said he needs to apologize to his teammates, fans, and the city of Memphis.
Again.
Yeah. Oh, and so he did. He did, and he apologizes to Adam Silver too. I'm sorry for the harm I've done, he said to the kids who look up to me. I'm sorry for failing you as a role model. I promise I'm going to do better. Going to be better.
I promise you're only going to see me as shooting ranges now.
He added, I hope you'll give me the chance to prove to you over time I'm a better man than what I've been showing you. Easy. Don't show the video.
Oh my God. I wouldn't be surprised if next week, like, breaking news, John Morant signed a sponsor deal with Smith and Wesson.
and now that the season's wrapped up, now that Denver's walked away with the trophy, and Miami's walked away in second place. No one cares about second. He's got time on his hand. He's got time on his hand now.
Speaking of what nobody cares about, the Vegas Knights won the Stanley Cup. So congrats to them. Congrats. Vegas is doing some big things, man. They
first 6 years.
Yeah, they only been in the league for 6 years.
Mm-hmm. One of the youngest teams to do so. One of the Lightning being another one. So that's pretty good. But did you hear what happened during the parade?
No.
Okay.
I didn't
know there was a shooting. There was a mass shooting during the parade
at the Vegas Stanley Cup.
Yes. At the parade. Damn. And then it gets better. There was also a guy who they found was threatened to shoot up the parade. So they got one who actually shot and one who's threatened to shoot.
One who actually did it, and then one who said he was going to do it. Two different people. Oh man,
you really can't make this stuff up. You really, I mean, come on, man.
It happens in Vegas. I'll get it.
Yeah, but back to what said, Vegas is doing something. They really is. I mean,
yeah, they got the Raiders.
Bringing Raiders, hockey. Who's they got a basketball team yet?
No,
That's
but I think they
no.
just got a bid for possibly having moving the A's, the Oakland A's, to Vegas. I don't
No,
know.
that's it.
It's baseball, man. I'm sorry, I'm just not interested in baseball. So like, I kind of just catch the end of the ticker on Sports Center, be like, oh, Oakland, what A's? Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, are the Rays still in first place? That's what I always say.
I can go to a game, baseball game. I love playing baseball, but
You can pay me
sit
to
and
go to a
watch it on
baseball game.
TV. No, I like going to them. Going to them is fun. You get your beer, hot dog, sit back, you yell at the pitcher.
Because you have to have that. You can't go there just like completely like clear headed and sober. It's like, oh my god, why is this game still going on?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Uh,
Oh man. All right,
so
but go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I don't know if I have enough time for What the Florida. There he goes.
What's up,
Hey.
guys?
Oh man, same old.
What's going on, sleepyhead?
Look at the nice mic I was borrowed.
Yeah, I dropped that
borrowing.
off to him. Yeah, I know you hold it like an infant. There you go. Look at that.
There you go.
You ever thought about doing stand up?
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. You got the face for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Just need the jokes for it.
So there's an Asian guy, there's a black guy, and there's a Jewish guy.
Boo.
All right. Here, I'm gonna hit the thing. Here you go.
That will always make me laugh. I don't know why.
Hey,
I know, right? Like I was on
I like it. I like it. Hey, sometimes the best ideas come out when you're
at 5 o'clock in the morning when you haven't slept and you're on fucking Red Bull and Adderall. You can't sleep. I got an idea.
Pretty much. So, those of you who are listening, we are in What the Florida. I'm going to read this time 2 Florida stories. They're going to tell me what happened in North Florida, Middle Florida, South Florida. They can all happen in the same place, but you already know that because you already been listening. If you like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Good plug.
All right. Florida man police officer who was caught speeding and arguing with a deputy has been relieved of duty. Yeah.
Ooh.
This is cop versus cop. This is Florida man cop versus Florida man cop. That's what we're doing today.
Oh, damn.
A Florida police officer is now relieved of duty after speeding and engaging in a heated argument with a deputy. Alexander Shaoni, a Florida police officer, is now relieved of duty after a dispute with the deputy.
What's his last name?
Shaoni. Shaouni. Shaoni.
There goes some money again, speeding.
According to authorities, part of the entire incident was caught on the body camera of one of the deputies. Shaoni is now being charged and subject to internal review, according to CBS News.
For speeding?
He was on his work.
Yep. I just got a speeding ticket. I didn't get fired.
So here's what happened. He was on his work. He was on his way to work on the 6th of June, and his patrol car was caught speeding by another deputy of another county. Mm-hmm. According to the report, the patrol car was going 80 in a 45 with its siren, 80 miles an hour in a 45 hour zone. With its sirens or emergency lights turned off, the deputy in pursuit of Shaoni had to go over 90 miles an hour to catch him. The body cam footage of the deputy released by the sheriff's office shows part of the incident, including the heated exchange between the deputy and Shaoni. When Shaoni finally stopped. He stepped out of the patrol car.
His name is killing me. Shmoney.
I know. Shaoni, hey. He stepped out of the patrol car and asked the deputy why he was trying to pull him over. The deputy explained that Shaoni was speeding, but Shaoni countered, saying that he was going to work. Because, everyone can go to work driving 80 in a 45. Come on now.
Yeah, but you can't pull over another cop. If I was a cop speed, I'd be like, yo, what the hell are you doing? Like, what do you want? What? I dropped something? Like, you're speeding. Like, yeah, bro, that's why we got the job. So we can do this. Yeah. This is like some Super Troopers type of situation.
See, that's a wrong frame of thought. That is a wrong frame of thought. You got to, cause think about it. If it was the Army versus Navy. I'm pulling over the Navy guy speeding because what? I'm the Army guy.
I feel like police do it all the time.
Is it
pull each other over?
Not pull each other over, but like speed, like
speed, like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No lights on or anything. I think this one cop was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get him today.
Yeah, like you imagine, like, what time does
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A close? Oh shit, we only got 20 minutes. All right, just fucking speed. Just act like it's something important. You know?
So to finish the story off, so Shoney refused to give his IDs, went
Shoney.
back inside his car, and as captured on the body cam. The arrest report says that Shoney was arrested and charged with resisting an officer, reckless driving, fleeing, and eluding a law enforcement officer. So yeah, they threw the book at him.
I'd be like, how is it? What? Is this me? I'm a cop. How is
I
this?
agree. I'd be pissed.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm surprised he didn't shoot the other guy. I'm just kidding.
All right.
That's
second Florida story. This is a good one. Florida woman. Only a Florida woman would attempt to pull off this. Florida woman sticks up a bank with a Nerf gun.
What did she do?
Florida woman Vanessa Ortega has quite a sense of humor. She walked into a bank in Florida with some kind of bright blue object in her hand and announced, "This is a robbery. Give me all your money." When Ortega approached the teller window, she told the bank employee that she was only joking and proceeded to make a cash withdrawal from her own account. By the time detectives
Girls Tessa again with her Friday jokes.
Ortega had already left, but bank employees said they could easily identify her because she was a regular customer at the bank. At that branch.
Wow.
Police found her a short time later at another location where a disturbance had been reported. Ortega copped to the comment about the hold up just being a joke, what a sense of humor, and said the blue object was a Nerf style gun. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean,
she was arrested.
I mean, the bank. That's all bank employees. Like, come on now. Yeah, she yelled out she had a gun and she was robbing the bank, but then she just withdrew money from her actual account. So I don't really understand. Like,
but I mean, I ain't playing. Look, if I'm a bank employee, I ain't messing around with that because that's the one place people come in with a gun and trying to stick you up at.
Yeah, but you said a blue object.
Your heart drops.
A blue bright object. This girl
people use their finger. People use their finger. They use their finger as a gun. Come on.
Oh no, man! You pull out a blue object like, yo, she had an infinity stone. Oh shit, she about to change everything.
All right.
Oh my God!
I like to think the security guard that was working the bank just like pulled out his gun immediately and was like, "Put it down."
You know what? That part is not mentioned in the story. What did the security guard do?
Right. Probably didn't have one.
I mean, you see this light blue thing, and she pulls it out.
Is anyone going to do something about this? That's what I would say. Anyone?
I'm off the clock.
Exactly.
But not all banks have security guards.
That's crazy.
Actually,
yeah.
No,
I think I've only ever went in one bank with a security guard. That was it. And he wasn't even paying attention.
I've been in some, but also I've been in some, but also depends on the side of town you go into the bank at.
Wait, who still goes into the bank?
I mean, I haven't been inside of a bank. It's been a minute since I've been inside of a bank. I can tell you that. But these are your two Florida stories. In the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and jump into what happened where.
Colin, since you're younger, I let you go first.
Okay.
Florida man cop versus Florida man cop.
I feel like this had to be like Pinellas versus like Hillsborough. That's what
Car Ramrod.
So we're going Middle Florida?
Okay.
We're
going Middle Florida? All right.
Yeah, I'm going to go Central too. I feel like this is somewhere nearby.
All right.
Yeah.
Pretty good. This happened in Seminole County. This was Seminole.
Yeah, see.
I don't know where that is.
I don't either.
That's over in Pinellas Park area.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Not towards above Pinellas Park. Sorry about that.
Also, the Pinellas cops are they're kind of sticklers. They're hardos, aren't they?
I think all cops are kind of sticklers. I don't think I've ever met a cop that say, you know what, you were speeding, but that's okay. Get out of here, man. You
seem like a good guy.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I remember I told you guys I got a ticket in Georgia when I drove down from Michigan. So I paid my ticket, and then like a week ago, I got a letter in the mail from like the Georgia DMV, Georgia Department of Driver Services. Apparently, if you go over a certain miles per hour over the speed limit, you have to pay another fine not associated with the ticket you got. So I paid the ticket. Georgia considers you a super speeder. Yeah.
Super speeder law. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what that is?
Title.
Yeah. They were like, it'd be $200
15 miles an hour.
Yeah. And I was like, what the? I called and I was like, yo, what is this? Like, yeah, you got to pay that by October. I was like, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not paying that. I don't live in Georgia. You can put a warrant out for my arrest for all I care. this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I'm a super speeder. Like, I don't even live there. Like,
Trying to get some more money out of you.
Yeah. So
Yeah. When I was stationed at Fort Stewart, they had just started that thing, the super speed law,
speeder.
and they are serious about it too. You go 50 miles or more over, yeah, you're getting that label. Quick.
Why can't they just be serious about like criminals that are like robbing banks and stuff like that? You know, like real stuff.
The funny part is that everyone. The funny part is that everyone that drives around there is doing like 90 miles an hour anyway. So everyone's doing 50 miles or more.
Exactly.
Over. So,
but
anyway,
go ahead.
So second Florida story, the
bank robber who just took her money.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's a joke. It's not a gun, clearly. Just nobody comes in here, so I figured I'd just visit you guys for a little bit.
She should say that next time with a bomb, a Nerf bomb. I got a bomb.
I'm gonna say South Florida.
South Florida? Okay.
Yeah.
You got South Florida?
I'll keep it interesting. Let's go North Florida.
North Florida.
Okay. Well, both of you are incorrect. This happened also in Central Florida. This happened in Spring Hill.
Oh, man.
You're closest.
Where's Spring Hill?
Spring Hill. It's like 30 miles up above us.
I don't know. I feel like they could keep changing these names of these places.
Spring Hill is in the Hernando County, I believe it is.
Yeah, Hernando, Spring, Polk. Like, I'm sorry.
They definitely ran out of names. But you got anything else for our listeners?
Well, I would just say Happy Father's Day to the daddies out, or the daddies. Oh, I said it like forget I said that word.
You did.
Happy Father's Day
you did not
out there. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I got nothing. It's hot. Stay cool. Yeah, that's it. What you got? Yeah, that's it. Think about life right now, man. I'm a super speeder, man. I got the cops on my ass.
Man. Well, on Sirac's mentions that he needs to get all that cleared up. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Share us. Find us on anything you've looked at or watched, because guess what? We're all over the place. So
we on C-SPAN.
We're on YouTube.
We on.
Give us time. We'll be on C-SPAN. Let me run for office. We'll C-SPAN too. But no, you'll find us on Instagram, YouTube, and of course, wherever you find your favorite podcast. This has been the weekly review. It's Sean Rock. I am Sean the King Torres.
And it's your boy, Rock the Mike. Peace.